Hey, Scott Spears here, Wrestling Cavalcade with my co-host, Big Bully Busick. And as many of you know, I know, this is one of the most pleasurable episodes of this program I think we're ever going to have. Because Bully, should I tell the fans?
Did you get those workers' comp claims?
I don't employ you. You're gonna have to talk to the executive committee. Should I tell the fans what happened to you, or should you tell the fans?
I don't think I have a choice. You're going to tell them anyway because you're gloating over it.
Well, as many of you know, back in October
Cheaters.
Back in October at the CCW event, this guy, this shyster, as I like to refer to him, and that's exactly what he is, Big Bully Busick, brought in basically a paid hitman, a paid stooge, Mr. Hughes, to take the world title off Bobo Brazil.
And he did.
Well, that's debatable. We've talked about that many, many times. That's rather debatable. But he did get the Duke that night. He was stripped of the title. Bobo Brazil Jr. had a 2.5-year reign. Mr. Hughes was stripped after 5 minutes.
He was stripped of the title.
Stripped of the title.
You talk about shysters.
Not me.
You guys come in. You're pulling the strings behind. You're like that DNC party where they give questions before the debate.
And you're like Russia hacking into our emails.
I'm personal friends with Vladimir.
You know, you've started to stutter a lot more since you wore that neck brace.
It's because it doesn't allow the jawbone to connect down here into the fifth vertebrae of the neck.
I didn't think anything could hurt your jawbone. In any event, as many of you know, Mr. Hughes did win the title, shortest reign ever, 5 minutes, stripped of the title, and we went to our last event.
Illegally stripped of the title.
Not illegally stripped of the title. Went to our last event. The title was held up one-on-one. Bobo Brazil Jr. versus Mr. Hughes with Big Bully Busick in his corner. And wasn't a good night for you, Bully.
No, it wasn't a good night.
Wasn't a good night. Do you want to tell him?
Well, I'll tell you, Bobo Brazil, and I've said from day one when I walked into this organization, he has a surgically implanted titanium plate in his head, and he uses it illegally. And what did he do? Tell your people what he did.
Well, there was a stipulation put in that match because of your big mouth that if Bobo should win...
I can't turn that quick, so talk a little slower. Okay, go ahead.
Hey, quick, look over there.
Nice try.
You're too smart for that.
You're about as smooth as sandpaper.
Nikolai Volkov's over here. Look over here.
Oh, he's coming in. He's a personal friend of mine.
You know, we're going to talk about that as the days and weeks go. Of course, Nikolai Volkov is not in the studio. He is touring. Nikolai stays very busy.
He sent me my last workout.
Did he ask you how much you weigh?
He did.
He asks everybody that.
And he gives me the diet?
He's in shape.
I'm on a new ab routine by Nikolai Volkov.
Did you know?
You know how many people employ him internationally to come in, set their diet up, and train them?
Many.
That's right.
He is celebrating, did you know this? Here's a little trivia for you. 50 years, 2017, in the wrestling business. Started in 1967.
And I also know for a fact that as of last week, he strict military pressed 405 pounds for 3 reps. I know.
50.
I got my sources.
50 years in the wrestling business.
I've been running these gyms for 47 years. I keep an eye on all these guys.
Do you?
Yeah.
50 years in the wrestling business. He started wrestling when he was 5. Had to have been.
Minimum.
Pretty close to it. In any event...
You ever see that comic book he got?
Oh, we're going to talk about that.
That's good.
We're going to talk about that. That is a winner. The Nikolai Volkov comic book. That's why you got to...
You know he's a personal friend of mine, right?
Can I talk?
Go ahead.
Just please.
Go ahead.
We're going to get to that comic book. That comic book is fantastic. And trust me, we're going to show you it. We're going to talk about it. And that's why you got to come back week after week after week. Because you never know when somebody like Nikolai Volkov will show up here. Not to see you. He doesn't like you.
Wait, he's a personal friend of mine.
No, he's not. A shyster like you?
He's going to be in my camp.
Do you know the Boy Scouts of America
awarded
Nikolai?
I've been talking with him.
He's going to be in your camp?
He's going to be in my camp.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
Absolutely
You don't
not.
know that.
Absolutely
You
not.
said that Mr. Hughes wouldn't win the title either, didn't you?
He didn't.
He did.
Does he have the title now?
He doesn't have it now, thanks to you guys.
Well, there you go. So I was right. In any event, there was a stipulation in that... There was a stipulation. Folks, we're going to...
my granddaughters, you know that?
I'm like
they don't get their way. Yeah.
Granddaughters?
Yeah.
Oh, we're going to be... Anybody who wants to co-host this show, we're going to be accepting applications after this episode. You might be out of a job.
You might be out.
You think you could do this?
I'll physically throw you out.
Hey, there's a stipulation here at the network. You don't put your hands up. You did that once.
I did.
Early on.
I did.
I haven't forgotten that. But in any event, as they say... There was a stipulation in that match between Mr. Hughes and Bobo Brazil Jr., and if Bobo should win that title back, he got 5 It seemed like 5 minutes. 60 seconds alone with you.
60
and as we
seconds.
can see, that happened. And let me tell you something. I don't want to tell you about it. We're going to show it to you before.
Put it on there.
No,
I
no, no,
wanna
no,
see- I
no.
want the people
Don't
to
jump
see.
the gun. You're always jumping the gun. Don't
get
jump the gun.
excited.
Yeah, I know you do. At some point during this program, folks, he doesn't want you to see this because he perpetrated a very nasty thing during our last few sessions. You claim that Bobo Brazil Jr. was not the son of Bobo Brazil Sr., and we all learned in the great debate that that was just a setup job. Yeah. Ooh, that was funny, wasn't it? Nice setup job.
Sharp like a razor blade.
I tell you what, we're going to go to our first match, but I'm telling you what, when we come back, we're going to talk more about this affiliation you might have with the great Nikolai Volkov, which I don't believe. A man of
You know
that...
that ab workout?
Do you know that... What?
He gave me an ab workout.
Did he?
Yeah.
So he's kind of instructing you.
And then I'd like the Iron Sheik to say, cameraman, zoom.
Do you have the Polynesian...
Never could
Paddles?
do those. He
Couldn't-
tried to teach me those.
He
I
tried to
never
teach
could
you
do
those? What? Just explain. One question I have for you. What would a shyster like you bring to the career of a man like Nikolai? What could you possibly do for him?
Money.
Money? He's
Cash.
rich. He's beyond rich.
He got that way
Haven't you
from
seen the
people
comic
like
book?
me.
Not like you. Good people in the world.
Yeah.
We're going to go to the first match. We're going to come back, and after this match, we are going to see that footage. Oh, folks, you're going to find out why this shyster ended up in a neck brace. Oh, it's going to be so good. You're not going to want to
You're
miss
getting
it.
my medical bills, too.
Let's go up to the ring, coming back to see that great
And
footage.
we're
back. Big Bully Busick is starting to sweat because he knows we're moments away from showing the footage from the great debate. We're going to start by showing you what happened during that debate, that heinous attack that Big Bully Busick perpetrated on it was disgusting.
Planned.
And then how the night ended. Okay, Director, do we have the tape ready here? Let's see the tape of the great debate here. Here we go. Okay, now right there, look at that. Now what is going on here? You were debating Bobo Brazil Jr. And then where did you get this prisoner? Explain that, Bully.
Part of the stable. He was auditioning to get in the Bully stable, Big Bully Busick stable.
Now look at this.
And there's Bobo, cheating as usual.
You're hitting him above the head.
I was trying to get that plate out of his head.
And you're trying to put the cuffs on him. What
did
a
put the cuffs
dastardly
on
move. What a dastardly move this was. As
Ooh,
you're
look at them vicious forearms to the back.
I thought you were
He couldn't
retired.
withstand it. I am retired.
Well, what are you doing there?
Well, I'm trying to defend myself.
Has he laid a hand on you at all?
Yeah, he tried to.
Did you see that right to the throat?
That's right.
Right to the throat. Now, folks,
A man's got to defend himself. You deny
against
that?
what? Against what? Now, this. Whoa, no, that's not all. Go back. We didn't lose all the footage there. Now, here was the world title match.
Huh?
Now, see, this is very important. Watch, this is where you lose a lot of money because of your own. Now, see, what are you doing right there?
I'm trying to adjust
Why
his knee
are
brace.
you hitting Bobo Brazil Jr.?
He said he had a cramp. I was trying to get rid of his
He did
cramp.
not have a cramp. Now, what is Lockdown doing right here over here? He's freeing you. You were handcuffed to the ropes. You should not have been let go. Why are you free right now?
Lockdown came down earlier. Lockdown took care of the bully.
Yeah, I saw that. Now, Hughes is still doing a number on him, and I'm going to tell you something very important here. But why is Lockdown in the ring? The match is still going on at this point. Now, there was a mistake perpetrated by your fellow Mr. Hughes. And right here, now watch the
Mr.
referee.
Hughes doesn't make mistakes.
This is one of my favorite parts because watch the referee. This is when he disqualifies you. You cost Mr. Hughes the world title on a disqualification because of you. There, hand raise Bobo, the new CCW world champion for a second time. But hold on, here comes my favorite bit of footage. Now here you come. You're stumbling, bumbling, cocoa butt, right to your skull.
Right to the skull, which caused the neck injury of the number 5 vertebrae coming up through the number 3 and 4.
Why you were even in there, I have no idea. Now, here's my favorite part. You tried to run away, but security caught you getting in your little Chevette out back of the arena that night.
Watch
Now
what
here.
he does. Watch.
Yeah, look at
Watch
him.
how he cheats.
Watch what he does.
Closed fist. Watch this.
Right in the jaw.
Perpetrated an attack.
Why is Big Bully Busick wearing a neck brace? You're watching it, folks.
Yeah, look
You're
what he's
seeing it.
doing. And he won't even. I said, all right, that's enough.
I thought you were a
I
tough guy.
tapped out.
I thought you were a tough guy.
I am a tough guy.
You don't look it there.
Well, he had brass knuckles.
He didn't have brass knuckles. Here's another cocoa butt for you.
What?
A pair for the night.
Now, he's barred from using that. Why
No,
did he
I
use that
didn't
on?
do it.
Why did he use
Now watch
that
this.
on
This
me?
is where he pins you. This was not. He didn't have a match with you, but he basically beat all your guys that
Well,
night.
my
3.
shoulder was
Okay.
up.
That's for the footage. Back to the studio
He
here.
cheated.
Now that is why this man is in a neck
He
brace.
cheated.
Where in that footage was any cheating? I saw a prisoner come down and attack Bobo. I saw you attack Bobo. I saw you handcuff him. I saw you get out of the handcuffs during the match.
Hold the phone,
I
Charlie
saw you
Brown.
get in the match.
Hold the phone. You're misleading the community of Marion, Ohio.
Never.
You are misleading. When they see this with that goofy bow tie you got on.
You love
And by
this
the
bow
way,
tie.
where's the switch for that handkerchief? Got to turn it
You know
off. It's
some-
too bright.
You know something? I'm glad you brought that up. What is this? This came, by the way, don't have your mail sent here. I know you don't want people to know where you live because of the death threats.
Steubenville.
Yeah,
Steubenville, Ohio.
a long, crooked road get you to Steubenville.
Steubenville's all right. Jimmy the Greek's from there.
Exactly. Jimmy the Greek, Dean
Dean
Martin.
Martin.
Guys who were kind of in the
Big Bully
gambling.
Busick.
Enough said. I don't have to say anymore after you say that. This coat is handmade, $5,000 coat, and it's my understanding when this
Read the
came-
tag. Tell them where it's from.
Hold on, I'm getting to that. I want to check this myself. This coat, personally stitched
Personally.
by the Van Leer Company, and for those of you who don't know high fashion, the Van Leer Company is located in Moscow.
Moscow.
Red. This
Right
is
below
Moscow
Ivana
red.
Trump.
Where did this come from?
Well, you just said where it comes
Yeah, but
from.
why
idiot.
why is it coming to you?
I have my reasons.
Are you in with the Russians? You throw Nikolai Volkov's name out here, you drop it.
Well, me and Vladimir Putin.
Oh, so you finally admit that.
Of course.
You've been trying to duck that for weeks.
He's a good guy.
Nikolai doesn't like Vladimir Putin.
He's his personal
He
trainer.
doesn't like communism. Nikolai fled that country for that
Putin's
reason.
not communistic.
Dictator, you're right. He's a dictator.
He's not communistic.
He's a dictator.
He gets the job done a lot like Big Bully Busick
You know,
does.
he murders the media over there. That's the last thing we need.
He slays them. Yeah, he tells them like Trump does. Don't talk nonsense like you. You talk a lot of
When?
nonsense.
I tell the truth. You have those Donald Trump alternative facts.
If you tell the truth, I'm an Iranian jet pilot.
Look at this. Hot off the presses, issue 1, folks. The Nikolai Volkov comic book.
You know what?
You don't have a copy. The Nikolai Volkov comic
How'd you
book
get that before I did?
by Inverse. Because
what?
I have it's through Inverse.
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 And Inverse is from where?
And it's a company.
And where did you get it? How did you order it?
I know people on the inside.
You know people on the inside. When's it coming out?
John Crother.
When's it
who-
coming out?
Who helped Nikolai with this? I know him very well.
How do the people get
John
that? I
Crother
want to
and I
know.
are like this.
How do the people get that?
You go to the internet.
Yeah.
Facebook is where I got mine
Okay.
because I know John Crother.
Okay.
You say you know Nikolai, why can't you get
Well,
one?
I've been calling him, but he's been busy with
Not
Putin.
returning your phone calls. That's exactly what he's doing, not Putin. But look at the illustrations in this comic book. That's fantastic. Look at that.
It is.
That is an absolutely
And it
fantastic comic
confirms,
book.
it confirms it. I had a chance to look at that before we come on. It confirms what I said about Nikolai's background in the weightlifting and the strength sports.
Okay. I want to let people know this. He says Nikolai has joined up with him. I can't imagine a man with that integrity would join up with Big Bully Busick. But here's what I have
We're
learned.
going to drink Slivovitz later on.
You what?
We're going to drink Slivovitz.
Nikolai wouldn't put anything like that in his system.
It's a health drink.
Almonds and water. That's
it's
it.
a health drink.
Almonds and water. And it's my understanding, I just got it from John Crother and the
You
people
ever
who...
had Slivovitz?
Do you ever let me finish?
Take a shot
I'm
of
trying-
that.
we're doing a
Take
show
a shot
here.
of that. You might shave once
We're
in a while.
doing a show. We're in the middle of a show.
Go ahead.
Yeah. You want to see that footage again? We can run that again.
No,
That's
go
some
ahead.
of my favorite footage. I've just
I
learned...
really like that comic book.
Well, you're not getting
Tells
this
a
one.
lot.
You're not getting
Turn
this
your
one.
back.
You're not getting this
Turn
one.
your back.
I'm going to
See
set
if
it
you
over
can-
here with
see
your
if you can find it.
Van Leer jacket. Listen, folks, we got one more match on this week's episode of Cavalcade, but when we come back from this break, this great, fantastic match from the CCW archives, we have a big surprise for you. So don't go in. What a great, fantastic match that was. A match where nobody cheated. Unlike every match you're involved in.
Scientific wrestling.
Yeah,
I promote scientific
It's
wrestling.
foreign to
I'm
you.
all about scientific wrestling.
I have a big announcement
You
to make.
wouldn't know a wrist lock from a wrist watch.
I've never been in the ring. I would
No, you
never.
haven't.
I would
You ain't
never
never
get
been in a gym either, way things look.
Slim and trim, as always.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Nikolai Volkov's going to put me on his almond and water diet.
Well, he needs to. He needs to charge you a considerable amount because he's got his work cut out for him with you.
No, I'll be in good shape. here like that.
So you're off the donuts,
Is he going to get you?
You think he's going to prove you eating them
Is he going to
donuts
get you
every
off that
morning?
donut?
He's working
Yeah, can he work on that for
he's
you?
gonna work on it.
Nikolai Volkov might be a chiropractor. He's anything. He's a renaissance man, if you ask me. But this is why we bring this up, because next week on this
Vitamin
show,
fortified cigar. He approves of these.
Nikolai Volkov would not smoke a cigar. He's going to live forever. He'll be here long after you and I are gone.
God willing.
Yeah, God willing. Exactly right. But next week on this program, the legend, the man who was in WrestleMania 1 over 30 years ago, the man who has a comic book out. I dropped it.
You're all nervous.
Oh, I'm a little
You're
nervous.
nervous
because
I might slap the taste out of your mouth.
No, I'm not nervous. I'm nervous that he might have joined up with you. I don't think he
See?
would. I don't think he would, but I'm going to ask him next week
But you
on this
never
program.
know what I'm capable of, or do you?
Folks.
Admit it. Tell the people.
No, I don't. You're nuts.
That's right.
You're certifiable. You're from Steubenville.
Card carrying certified.
Yeah, you got that right. Next week, folks, the man who was in the first WrestleMania, one of the few people who has wrestled not only Bruno Sammartino, but also Hulk Hogan in the prime of their careers. He's a former tag team champion, the most famous Russian wrestler in the history of wrestling, in my personal opinion. The fantastic Hall of Famer, Nikolai Volkov, will be in the studio next week, and this goof, you're going to face the music. You look a little nervous now that you know he's going to be here.
I'm not nervous. He's in the bullies' camp. We're good to go.
I don't believe that's true, but we're going to find out next week. We're going to talk about this great comic book, and Nikolai Volkov will be here, and we're going to find out.
Let me see that book.
Don't take it.
Don't
take it.
Don't tell me what to do.
Don't take it. Next week, Nikolai Volkov, folks, you're not going to want to miss that.
Is there a picture of him and Putin in here?
He doesn't like Putin.
Are you sure?
You're going to make him angry. Next week might be your farewell show.
His Jedi got a mustache like me. You don't even know what a Jedi is, do you?
I don't know what half the words
You're
are
supposed
you say.
to be. You're supposed to be some kind of sharp announcer.
A Greek to American dictionary is what I need doing this show. You play the piano? Did you ever play a musical instrument? Slavish. Is that what that is?
See that mustache?
That's a good mustache.
I copied off that.
Did you?
I plagiarized that mustache.
You know,
that's his Jedi.
Is it true you won Best Mustache?
In the history.
Yeah.
In the history of the WWE.
I'm sorry we don't have time to talk about that. I wanted to talk about that, but we just don't have the time. Next week on the
program.
program.
Never got time for me, do you?
Yeah, not quite. Next week on the program, the big reveal, folks. Will Nikolai Volkov join up with Big Bully Busick? Who knows, but we're going to learn about this great comic book and what the legend has been up to. Nikolai Volkov next week for the scam artist. This is Scott Spears saying, have a great week. See you next week.